Hi everybody, welcome to the first Great British Chefs Academy. My name is Hornigold, former group pastry chef for Hakkasan and now Michelin-starred pastry consultant. What we're going to be doing in the first masterclass is understanding the basics of tarts, lining and fillings, what they do and why we use them. Today's tart, what we're going to be doing is a Frangipane Prune and Marmalade Tart. First off, when it comes to rolling the pastry, it's always vital. You have to make sure you turn the paste. Don't turn it over, just turn the paste and roll it in different directions, because if you roll it in one direction, it will only ever shrink in one direction. That's the gluten working there. Okay, so a light dusting of flour. You got your pastry here, slightly larger than what we need. So just cut round, roughly, any excess. And then just pick up your pastry, place it into the mould, yeah? First thing you need to do, pick up the pastry, push it all the way down to the bottom, and then push it back out to the side. So you're going really, really tight to the edges. Another thing you can do to ensure you have that right angle is just take some of your spare dough, and then you just push that into those edges to ensure that all the paste is actually there. You'll see a line appear in the tart where you can see that it's nice and at right angles, yeah? All we're going to do then is take the knife and at an angle, slight angle to the actual mould, is just trim it round. Now that we've trimmed our pastry, what we're going to do is start thinking about the filling and make the frangipane. So frangipane is also known as almond cream. It's basically sugar, 230 grams of sugar in this instance, 230 grams of softened butter. We call that pommade. So with the softened butter and the sugar, you just want to bring it together. And then what we'll do is lightly aerate it. This is going to help with the overall volume and the lightness of the frangipane itself. See the colour changing, it's getting whiter. Take our eggs, crack those in, and then make a little well, add a little bit of the egg. Don't add it all at once, because it will split. And just incorporate the eggs. Add the second part, or smoothing out. What we then do, start adding our dry ingredient. So in this instance, we've got a little bit of clove, a little bit of star anise. So that just goes in there, slightly spiced. We have our flour, so just sieved soft flour goes in there, not strong, as would be too hard. And then the ground almonds. Okay, so just folding that in, turning the bowl as well because it incorporates it quicker and doesn't make it so hard on your arms. And there you have it. Frangipane, ready for our tart case. Now we're going to start working on the actual centre itself. So I've got some marmalade here. I've got some prunes, which we've soaked in orange juice, prune juice, a little bit of cinnamon, and then just chopped down and blended slightly to make almost like a marmalade itself. And then we're going to take some pitted prunes, just chop those through, and then place those at the bottom as well. You don't have to go too mad with the marmalade. You have to be careful, obviously, because once the sugar heats up, it's going to boil and it'll come out of the side. So just a little bit of the orange. You just want to put that in. Try not to go too close to the edge. So you can be a bit more generous with the prunes. You don't necessarily have to worry so much about the boiling sugar because it's got a lower sugar content. And then we're going to chop ever so quickly some prunes and then just sprinkle those through just like so. I'm going to leave a couple just for the top. And then we're going to grab our frangipane. So we have our frangipane bagged off, ready to go. Place that down. Just remove the tip. You don't have to use the whole of the bag at one go. You can split the bag here, twist so you have better control, yeah? And then just pipe that into the centre. Don't be shy with the frangipane, but again, don't overfill it because it will souffle slightly and come out over the top of the mould. Bring some warm water and a palette knife. And we just place some of these back onto the tops. And then just gently push those in and then just tease it out into the edges. But that is basically your tart ready for the oven. we finished our tart. It's ready for the oven now. What we're going to do is we're going to cook that at about 210 degrees, depending on what type of oven you have, just so we can start to set that pastry. Then we're going to reduce the temperature for about 20-25 minutes to about 170, 175, just to cook out the frangipane. Okay, so we've got our tart out of the oven. It's still nice and warm. We're going to glaze it now with a little bit of marmalade let down with some prune juice. And that's just so that any excess liquid comes off, it steams off, rather than soaking into the sponge and keeping it wet. Dab it onto the top, lightly brushing it on, just to seal the tart, bring a shine to it, and add another depth of flavour into the frangipane. So we've glazed our tart and it's finished and ready to take out of the tin. I'm going to take it out of the tin now because I don't want it to sweat. If I leave it in, the heat's going to cool down, it's going to condense and make the tart soggy. Gently take your cloth. If you've got a spring release, just push your hand underneath. And then gently just pick it up, one under there like that. Take two because you don't want it to break. You've done all that hard work. So one supporting one side, one supporting the other, and then just move it very, very quickly. The side of the palette knife. And there you have it, our simple frangipane, prune and marmalade tart. Thanks for watching Great British Chefs Academy, and I look forward to seeing you next time.